The Suicide Squad is the latest film from James Gunn, the director of the two Guardians of the Galaxy films. It's also the latest DCEU film, which is not a direct sequel to the 2016 Suicide Squad. I was incredibly excited for this, as I couldn't wait to see a big budget blockbuster that was utterly bonkers and completely the product of one director's vision, and thankfully this delivered. This is James Gunn's film through and through, every crazy, gory, funny, moving part of it. There is no studio presence here, and this is Gunn, unfiltered in every way, which is what I absolutely love the most about this film. His script is brilliant, giving every team member a chance to shine, and finding the heart and humanity in them. Gunn delivers the best version of Harley Quinn we've ever seen portrayed on screen, which is also in large part due to Margot Robbie, who was born to play this character. Idris Elba is also hilariously sarcastic and soulful and plays brilliantly against Daniela Melchior's Ratcatcher 2 and John Cena's Peacemaker, who is also very funny. This is easily the best performance of Cena's career so far, and he goes to a surprisingly dark place at one point that makes it easy to see why Gunn chose Peacemaker specifically to explore more deeply in the prequel series over so many of the other characters in this film. I also really liked Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag here, as he's a far snarkier and believable human than in the 2016 film. David Dastmalchian is also great as Polka-Dot Man and gives him a humanity despite how inherently stupid a character he is. And lastly, Sylvester Stallone is just perfect as King Shark and makes him so endlessly lovable despite how much he wants to constantly eat people. And everyone is just perfectly cast here, and the fact that Gunn has so many characters stand out and not have the film feel crowded like so many big group superhero films would is a testament to just how great the script is. Aside from the characters, the script is so funny and has a very sarcastic and surreal streak which makes it feel like it genuinely was ripped straight out of a comic book. And it's also Gunn's vivid, colourful direction which complements this straight out of a comic book feel, with this gritty war movie feeling, which I know is what Gunn wanted to achieve and he most certainly did, which also has a brilliant sense of scale thanks to the consistently ultra widescreen IMAX cinematography. Gunn also really has the right anarchic, skewed sensibilities that mesh perfectly with the source material. It just feels as though there couldn't be a more perfect marriage of director and material. Also, with the aforementioned scale to Gunn's direction, it really helps to emphasise the sheer insanity of some of the images that you see on screen in this film. This film is bonkers, full stop, and his approach to his action is also really good, with the commitment to practical effects really paying off in so many of the huge, large-scale set pieces which they actually built proper massive sets for. The action in the film has a real viscerality to it, which the goriness really adds to. Especially in one particularly brutal fight between two characters in the laboratory, which really keeps you guessing and you genuinely have no idea who's going to make it out of that fight. The film really goes for it with the gore and the violence, and this is definitely a hard R. The blend of CGI and practical effects is flawless in this film, with the level of detail in certain CG characters such as King Shark and Starro at times being unbelievably real. There are countless shots where the emotion shining through King Shark's face feels so real, yet it is a man-shark hybrid being played by Sylvester Stallone. As always with the James Gunn film, the soundtrack is amazing, and he really works to create a big heart at the centre of the film, despite all the insanity around it, which does shine through by the end. However, I would say one of the few small flaws of the film which I can talk about without giving away any spoilers is the fact that, for some reason, I feel the emotional heart of the film struggles to shine through as strongly as it does throughout the Guardians films, but it's a very different film, so I don't want to compare them, and the heart of the film does eventually shine through by the third act, but it does take time to really understand where the emotional core of the film is. Overall, though, everything in the Suicide Squad adds up to create a film that is insanely fun and completely unpredictable, one of the boldest, most bonkers studio blockbusters I've seen for a long time. This really is James Gunn on full display, and he's delivered a thrillingly bonkers ride that is easily up there with some of DC's best. I'm going to give The Suicide Squad an 8 out of 10. The film is so much fun. I'd recommend seeing the largest IMAX screen possible. It's fast paced, it's funny, the action is brilliantly gory, and it's just a director's vision, completely unfiltered, and I think that's what's really refreshing about the film, in how much freedom it was obvious Gunn had. That was my review of the Suicide Squad, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.